Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you are enjoying this RAP video series. In my two previous videos, we discussed about the actions and modify operations. We just defined three actions in our behavior definition. We didn't do any implementation till now. In this video, we will do one by one for all our actions implementations. So these are the some steps I have written for the copy travel which I need to follow during the action implementations. So copying travel, we need one action button on the UI. As soon as you click on that action button, copy, you select one travel and click on copy travel, it should copy that particular travel and create the new travel. That is the reason we have created one factory actions, because we have to create new instance. And to do that thing, first we have to make sure whenever we do the creation operation, the CID should be filled. So we'll check first the CID is filled or not, whoever calling that particular copy travel actions. So we are calling as of now from the UI. That might be the possibility that somebody can call that same copy travel action directly from the any ABAP code or program or class. So we have to make sure that CID is already filled, because we are developing that BO. We should not think about we are just developing the applications. We should think like that particular BO can be called from any other program as well. In that way we have to develop our business object. Once we check the CID, second thing we have to do, we have to read the data from the database for all the travel booking and booking supplement which we want to copy. Once we read those data, we have to create new travel instance which is having the booking and booking association as well. Once we done this one, then we will use the modify statement to create new travel instance in the system, and we will pass that particular travel instance in map table back to the data. So these are the theory points. I know it's little difficult to understand. We'll jump into the system. We will create our first actions copy travel, and this will be helpful in managed scenario to create new unmanaged scenario where we have to do our create operation our own. They're almost similar coding as well. So let's jump into the system and create our first action implementation. In my previous video, we already have defined the actions for the copy travel, accept and reject travel, and the recalculate total price. First we will implement the copy travel. So let me go to my behavior travel class. We have all methods already defined in my last video, but these method are not having any implementation. So as I told you, whenever we develop any method related to our any actions or early numbering, we have to see the interface of that particular method. What is the importing and exporting parameter? If you do F2 over here, you can see in this case, this particular copy travel method is giving us the keys. As I told you, on the UI side, we will be having the copy travel button. Once we click on that time, it will just copy the instance which we have selected and create the new instance with the new travel ID, obviously. Okay, so in this case you can see we have mapped failed reported table apart from this keys table. If you see this derived type over here, we have the CID. As I told you, when we will call this action, this CID must be filled. Based on this CID only we will create our new travel ID. Until and unless new travel ID is not available, we will use this particular CID. And in this case, we will be having the travel ID also, because the travel ID will be having the values of the existing travel which we want to copy. Based on that, we will read the data from the database. So there are only three fields: one CID, CID reference, and the travel ID. So without wasting the time, let's start our implementation. So first, as I told you, what we have to do, we have to check this particular table is filled with CID or not. So we have to do read table, this particular keys table, assigning field symbol you can use. You have to use as much as field symbol ls underscore keys, and we have to use with key control space. What key we have to use? CID, percentage CID is initial. Is initial, or we can use equal to blank, that is also fine. I think is initial will not work here, so we have to use control Z equal to space. Tab 1, and we want to make sure that you can give appropriate name. Instead of ls keys, you can give that ls without CID, something like that. And we want to make sure that assert statement we have to put, make sure assert, not append, assert, this should be initial. Control C is initial. If it is not initial, we should give some dump, obviously, to the whoever calling this particular copy travel, because it is really mandatory to pass this particular CID. If they are not passing CID, means something is wrong. Once we have done this one, Shift F1, let me activate this one, Control F3. First thing what we have to do, we have to read the existing tables. So for read statement, we will use read entities. We will use multiple only, entities of y underscore travel takem table. Travel take, not root entity, we can say this is this business object I want to read. Business object name we will refer as a root entity name. So again, one more thing I want to tell you guys, if you want to give some different name, you can use here alias name for your particular Techcam booking and booking supplement. As of now I didn't use, you can use as a travel, and that alias name you can use as an entity name, and this will refer to your business object name. But I didn't do, as of now I'm using the same name, so that is not an issue. Entity which I want to read, this is the entity I want to read, y control. Let me come back, alt back. So if you want to go to the previous statement where you were editing, one button is there, you can see here, previous edit location. So you just click on that, it will directly switch to that, and you can do Control Z. Let me copy again, Control C, Control V. So we will read this particular entity, and we want to read all field variant because we want to read all the fields. So all the field with in this time we have to create the value table. So in this case, but what I will do, I will use the corresponding of this particular keys. Means I want to pass basically a travel ID, but instead of passing the travel ID, I will pass the directly all the travel ID is available in the keys table. If you do F2 over here, we have the travel ID. The corresponding field only will be the travel ID for this particular read. If you will create one table explicitly for this particular location, then you have to create like that your internal table name, type for create, and you have to give the travel this particular travel entity name. But here I am doing the inline declaration. Is again I am telling, I have already explained the read statement, and you have to use the result tab. The data you have to fill into lt underscore result, or you can say lt underscore travel read. Read I am using as a R, so wherever I am using R, that means for the read, and we will use a failed as well, because if that travel instance is not available, we should get the data, we should give appropriate error. So lt underscore failed, so like that you have to use. So once we did this one, read entities of this particular, and one more thing we have to make sure, because we are reading this particular travel instance in the same BO, we have to use in local mode. That is the reason we are getting warning as well. So that's very important. So this is how we have to read the we have to use the read statement, and once we did this read, shift F1, we have to read our booking and booking supplement by the association, because I want to create for this particular related travel what all are the booking instance and what all are the booking supplement. So that is the reason we are using the by association. So we have to use the associated entity for this particular travel which we have read. So again we will use the read entities statement, Control Alt arrow down button. I will not, but this time what we will, instead of travel, I will read by association. We have to use by and backward slash underscore booking. If you don't know about the read statement, I have already created the video. You can watch out my previous video. So in this by association, but this time I will use the travel. Control C. What all are the travel we have read? Corresponding travel, all the travel ID. If you do F2 over here, you can see we have the travel agency ID, customer ID. So I want to pass only, because the only one field is the common is the travel ID field. So corresponding all the travel IDs, I want to read the result data. Instead of travel, I will put the booking. And I don't want to fail this time, because that might be possible the bookings are not available for the travel, but still I want to create the travel is at least travel. So in this case, when we are copying the data, if travel itself not available, then we have to obviously give the error. That is the reason we got the LT underscore failed. But travel is available, but booking or booking supplement is not available. No need to worry. We will just copy the travel. We will not copy the talk without booking and with the booking associations. So this we have to make sure. Then third thing, last thing, same thing we will do, Control Alt arrow down, and this time we will read the entities of this only, but this time instead of reading the travel instance, booking entity I will read. By association only I will read, but this time the association name will be booking supplement. For this all the bookings, what all are the bookings supplements are, those I will read. So I will pass the corresponding travel ID and booking ID. I got the call, sorry for that. So where we were reading the entities of this in local mode, booking table with the booking association, but this time corresponding booking we have to use, and the result data we have to use in booking supplement. So I can use book underscore supplement. So like that we can do. So this is how we have read the data from all our three entities, so from booking supplement and the travel. So we have to read the associate entities. So what it will do, basically it will pass the travel ID. If you do F2 over here, the travel ID and booking ID whenever we are reading, and it will create those corresponding field, all the fields it will get from here. If you do F2 over here, so you have the travel ID and booking ID, those data, and it will pass the travel ID and booking ID and corresponding all the fields it will get, because we are using old field with. So control structure automatically will be filled with all the fields. So I need all the fields obviously. So this is three statement we have to use to read the existing data which we want to copy. Once we copied the data, I want to create new instance. So to create the new instance, I want to declare first new instance data, because we want to create. So I want to declare first travel, IT underscore travel, and type table for create this time, and this should be type of yi underscore travel taken, our root entity. Or then we have IT booking we want to create with association. So you have to make sure booking, or we will use create by association as a CBA, which if you want to create, type table for, and you have to create only yi underscore create. So again yi underscore travel, since you want to create by association, you have to give backward slash, and you have to use control space. And booking, I want to create by association this, then you have to give the appropriate type. You don't want to create by association, or you want to create the booking directly, you can just give the booking travel instance. But in this case I want to create by association, because I want to create the entire business object instance. Third thing, IT booking supplement. So I can write book underscore suppl underscore CBA. This is also create by association. So I want to create type table for create, and this time this should be create by association we are using, so it should be booking table decam, and backward slash we have to use, control space you can do, booking supplement I want to create. For these all the bookings I want to create the booking supplements. If you do F2 over here and see the table types, IT underscore not, sorry, if you do the table types of this one F2, so you can see we have CID, travel ID and all other control structure. Same way we have booking. In the booking, if you have normal booking entity, then you will be having the travel ID, booking ID, and like that we are having here travel instance now. So CID we will be having for booking as well, and the booking data, booking fields will be there, and control structure for that will be there. Since we are creating by association, so we have the first all the CID reference field, and then the key field of your root entity of your parent, and your target will be having your booking fields. In the target we are having the CID field again, and those travel ID, booking ID, booking date, and this like this will be having. So you have to understand this structure. That's very important, because we have to fill this structure. If you don't understand this particular structure of the derived tab, you will be not. Since we are creating, again I am explaining, since we are creating by reference, so we have the CID reference field. So here we have to pass the parent CID. We have to pass the parent CID. Parent CID will be the travel ID. Travel ID CID, because obviously travel ID will be not available creation type. So this is the use of the CID reference field. So we will pass here CID reference field the CID of the travel ID, because travel ID at this point of time not available when we creating the entire business object. We yet to create in the system, and in the target we have to create our own new CID, and other field we have to fill from whatever we have read. So let's see, we'll do one by one thing, all the things. So first what I will do, I will fill this IT underscore travel. To fill that, we have to loop through the existing data. So what we will do, we will use loop statement, loop control space, it assigning shift F1, and we want to read this particular LT underscore travel read table, assigning field symbol, and we will use the ls underscore travel underscore R for read. I want to read through this particular travel instance which we want to copy. Once we have read through this table, I want to append new entry in this particular IT underscore travel. There are multiple I can use I will show you the normal way, and then I will do in one line as well, because to understand you guys, append initial line to this particular IT underscore travel, assigning field symbol, and we can use new field symbol here, ls underscore travel. And once we have used this ls underscore travel, now we can fill this particular table with CID. First CID we will fill. CID where we will get, as I told you, we will get the CID from our key structure. If you do F2 over here again, or F2 over here, this key structure, the new CID which we want to create, the CID we will get from here, and the travel ID will be the existing travel ID which we want to copy. So I want to use this control C keys table to fill the CID. To do this, I want to read obviously this keys table. So I will do inline read. I will use the key. I will use the I want to read based on the CID I want to read. So what field I want to pass? So I want to pass the travel ID. So travel ID, control space you will do, travel ID equal to the travel ID which we are having, we already read from the database. For this particular travel ID, what is the CID? And we want to access the CID field, so we will use the CID. This is the new syntax inline declaration. We are getting one warning because it is saying that secondary key we didn't use. So if you do F2 over here, you can see we have the secondary called percentage key, or we have the entity field, control C. This is entity. You can use directly key as well if you want to use if you want to use directly TKY also. You might not, you want to use this particular key also, you can use instead of travel ID. That's your, based on your convenient. I'm directly using that. If I want to use like this percentage key, based on the key field I want to read, that also fine. And based on the travel ID I want to use directly, both are fine, because both having the same value. And just it is saying use the key, and if you should do control space entity, so you have to do like this. I'm using this particular key to read this particular keys table, because we already have the secondary keys available, we are not using, that is the reason we were getting that warning. Okay, shift F1. Now what we will do, we have filled the CID. Second thing, we will fill the data. So data where we will get, obviously we copied the data, the percentage data I will directly fill. Instead of filling the component one by one component, I will fill this particular component. I will get the corresponding values of all the values from this particular ls_travel r, which will be having, if you see this data structure F2, we have all the field, travel ID, agency, but travel ID I don't want to copy, because travel ID I want to generate new, other field I want to copy. So you have to use one additional thing here, accept travel ID. You will not get value help, we are getting accept travel ID. Accept travel ID, all other field I want to fill. This is the one way to fill this particular fill symbol. The another way what we can do, which we are going to use now and onwards, I just want to explain you. I will do inline everything, append, I will use value statement, and we will create the value on go. So I will use this percentage, CID is this one, control C, control V, and the data, this one, control C. Second thing I want to, because work area I will do inline, control V, append this data to, where we want to append this data to IT_travel, control V, instead of declaring this explicit work area, and if append this value to IT_travel, assigning, okay, IT_travel. So we have CID, we have percentage data we have filled, append this value we have created correctly. I have to close this bracket, IT_travel, assigning field symbol, and I can declare again field symbol if I want. So in this case I will declare this one, control C, delete, control V. I already declared. So this is the another way, one line, instead of doing in 3 line, I did in 1 line, that same thing. So you have to use, now and onwards we will use this particular instead. We have filled the travel instance. Now what we will do, that we will fill the booking instance as well. So we filled all the data of the booking, but before going further, I want to append the booking, I want to fill the CID reference field of booking. If you do F2 over here, first we have to fill the CID reference, then I will fill the target. So first I will fill the CID reference. So to fill that, so same thing we will do, append the value, and we will append the value again, this time CID reference. So we will use CID_RAP field, and this we will get basically our travel CID. So we can use directly this as well, control C. That is the reason we kept this particular field symbol. So I can use CID from here, which will become the CID reference field for this one, because for new travel instance the travel ID yet not available. So I want to create this one, append this particular value to IT_booking by CBA, assigning, I want to fill other field also, assign. So that is the reason I am using the field symbol. So I can use IT_booking. This is IT_booking. and here I will use, this is how we have to fill this particular. In this I just filled as of now CID reference field. Not only the CID reference field, when I copy the data, basically I want to change the, I don't want to use the same date which I am using in the older one, and I want to set the travel instance as a travel status as a open. So to do that, what I will do, I will replace some of the values here, Control V, and first I will change the begin date. Begin date always should be today's date, and to get the today's date we will use CL ABAP context class, context info, context info, and here I will call static method get system date. Shift enter you will do, you will get the system date. Like this is the same way we were getting the side item, in same way we can use the get system date, and we will get the end date also like that. Control Alt arrow down button, and we will get the end date. Control space you can do end date, and end date should be plus 30 or whatever you want, plus 60, plus 90, anything. This travel end date should be this one. And once we given the begin date and end date, one more field I want to give, as I told you, booking status. Control booking, not status field. So status field is the, I forgot, overall status. This should be open. It should not be closed when I create. When even I copying the closed travel, it should be open. So this is how I have updated some of the field after the copying, and I filled the booking ID with the CID reference. So these are the small thing we have to do. Now what I will do, I will loop through this booking, not this one, sorry, IT underscore booking which we have read. Control C, I will loop through this data and I will fill the booking. I will copy the booking as well. So what I will do, loop, Control space you will do, 8 assigning, Shift F1, Control V. I want to read this booking table also, assigning fill symbol I can do, and I can ls underscore booking underscore read. This is read table which we are from where we are reading from, but we want to read only those bookings which I am looping through those tables. So I will use here where condition. So let me close this one and let me use one where condition, where the booking, where the travel ID, Control space, travel ID should be equal to the travel ID of the our parent. So we have to get the travel ID of the parent of that particular booking. Control V, and we will put the travel ID here, travel ID. So we only loop through those travel IDs which we are looping to currently in this particular loop. And since we are using the loop inside loop, we have to make sure either we are using key field and we are getting the warning as well. We have already the secondary, so you can say an initial part of the secondary key ID with the sorted is covered, however ID is not used in the statement. So it is already, we have the secondary key. If you do F2 over here, so you can see, you little bit come down, you can see secondary table key entity we have. Control C, I will use this particular secondary key whenever I am using the loop. So I will use with the key, using key, sorry, not with key, using key, and we have to use the key name. Once we loop through this table, I want to fill, if you see this LT booking table, I want to fill this target. In the target, I want to fill this CID, travel ID, booking ID, and this other data. So to fill the target, first I have to fill the target. So first I have to fill the CID. If you see this IT underscore booking again, F2, what I have to fill? First I have to fill the CID, then other data. Except I think we no need to fill the travel ID here back. So what I can do, I will append again in this target, I will append directly data, append value, and we will create on go this particular value percentage. This time in the target I need the target CID. The target CID, what I will do, I need to generate this time new CID for this one, because we are doing this thing, we have to generate travel CID we got from the interface keys, and in the target CID, what I will do, I will create my own CID using the travel CID, Control C. Along with that, what I will do, I will concatenate and I will use, and I will concatenate the field of the Control C booking ID. Booking ID. So this will create one new CID. So what I am doing, I am using the travel CID and concatenating some booking ID field. It will generate the unique number. So that I am creating the new CID number. And once I generated the CID, I want to pass the other data also in this particular target. So other data, percentage data, again I will use the corresponding values corresponding of the our travel read. So whatever we have in this booking, you pass everything here. Control V, and I don't want to pass the travel ID except travel ID. Apart from travel ID, I want to pass the everything, and append value I have to use hash. Append this particular value to where I want to append in the target of this particular booking. Control C. CID reference I already filled. I want to fill now target. So where is my target? Percentage target. So like that we can append. So in this way, if you do F2 over again, we have filled the CID reference above, and target also we have filled. We don't have the travel ID. In the target, what data we have? We have the CID, which I have generated newly, and other data we have filled apart from the travel ID. Travel ID yet to create. We didn't create a travel ID, but booking ID I can use the same booking ID which is I am having the existing, because I want to create with the same number. So that is the reason. Sorry, I am using the same booking ID number. So it's a little bit tricky, but when we debug, then we will get to know more. So when we done this thing, now we will have to fill one more thing in this particular target. So I will use assigning fill symbol, and I will generate new ls underscore booking underscore new instance. So using this I can modifying the again status. So I don't want to use again in the, if you see in the target, we have the one field called the booking status, that I want to change again to the new instead of the rejected or accepted. I want to use this is the new booking or open, something like that. So in this case, what I will do, Control C, and I will pass this Control Z. I will update the booking status field directly using this field symbol, and I will tell this is the new booking. Okay, so like that we can update the existing which field, like we have updated for travel, I have updated this field for the booking. Now in the same way we will loop through the booking supplement also. So we have already booking supplement, this table. I will loop through this table. Loop, Control space, 8 assigning, shift F1, Control V, assigning field symbol. So this time ls underscore book underscore sub supp underscore booking supplement underscore r. This is for the read, so that is the reason I am using the read statement. So in this time when I am reading, I will read with again where condition I have to apply. I just want to read only for that booking, not for all bookings. So where travel ID and booking ID I have to pass. If I do F2 over here, or I can pass the entire ID, but I don't want to pass the entire TKY I would have used, but I want to use only the travel ID and booking ID only. So that is the reason I have to pass the explicitly, where travel ID should be equal to my travel ID from the read travel ID, and booking ID should be equal to control space should be equal to read the current booking which I have read, control C, control V, booking ID. And again it will be giving warning you are not using key, because we have the key with the travel ID, secondary key with the entity name which is having the travel ID and booking ID as the initial field. I have to use the key, so I have to use same state using key, and I can use the entity is the key name, the same thing. Okay, now I have to append, I have to create new, same way I have to append the new CID for our booking also. If I have to fill this particular booking CBA, if you do this one again in CID reference field, I have to fill the CID, I have to create new CID reference, and we don't have the travel ID but we have the booking ID, but we will not fill here, but we will fill in this target, this particular CID, new CID field, and the other data is per the like we filled for the booking. So it becoming little complicated, I know, but we have to, because it's a 3 level, not the 2 level. So 2 level little bit simpler, but 3 level, that is the reason we have loop inside loop inside loop. So we will do the append statement again, same way, append value. We have to create the CID has CID, but this time CID will be percentage CID you have to use, sorry, percentage CID equal to, you can copy this is control C, but this time we will concatenate one more field. You will be not able to see my screen, so let me minimize, this is not required as of now, and we can do, and this time we can use LT booking supplement, control C, control V, booking supplement ID to create new CID. Once we created new CID, we have to fill the data like we did above, same way, percentage data, control space you can do. Oh, control space not work here because we are doing inline, corresponding field of your booking, control C, control V, accept travel ID and booking ID. So you can use travel ID and the booking ID, control C, control. I don't want to copy the travel ID and booking ID. Apart from the travel ID and booking ID, everything I want to copy, because booking ID will be get from the parent and travel ID also we are generating runtime. So that is the reason I don't want these two field. Apart from all the field you will fill to one more thing, we have to, as I told you, in this particular CID booking supplement field, we have to fill the CID reference field. The CID reference will be your booking ID CID. So we have to use this append statement here as well, but for this time booking supplement before loop, control V, so control Z. So what we will do, this 2 line I have written, CID reference, this will be the booking we are getting from the newly created booking, control C, control V. So newly created booking, whatever the CID, that will become the CID reference for the booking supplement. Instead of booking CBA, I will use the booking supplement, assigning new field symbol book SUBB supplement, SUB supplement, whatever the naming convention you can follow, that will be LS, and I want to fill, I have already filled that CID field. I want to fill in this one target. I have already filled the CID reference here. I have to fill now target. So let me fill the target to this particular field of the target. So append this value, I did correctly, but I have to close this one to target. Control space not working. I copied correctly. Control C, control V, target, shift F1, control F3. So let's revise whatever we have done till now. Let me do shift F1 once again, delete the unnecessary spaces. Control F3. What we have done, we as a first step in my theory also we need to make CID already filled or not. We did that using the assert statement. We want us that the CID should be filled. Second, we read all the data based on the key travel ID which we got from the keys table, from our root entity and the booking and booking supplement entity. Travel, booking and booking supplement, we read the data, we rate the data, and once we read the data, we loop through all the data, and we have created these three new tables, travel, booking and booking supplement. To fill these tables, we read one by one all the table which is already exist in the database, and with reference to those we have created this new 3 table, and now we want to persist this data of this new 3 table in the database. To do that, we have to use modify statement. So what we will do now, once we fill all the data, we will use the modify statement. Modify entities of yi underscore travel taken, and I want to modify the entity. Which entity I want to? First I want to modify the travel taken, and for that I will use the create statement. Create fields. I want to pass all the fields. I already have the list, so I just copy this list already which I am having. Control C. Instead of doing one by one, create all the fields. Create these fields with I want to pass the table. The table we already have created. First table what we have created for the travel, IT underscore travel. Control C. With this table, now what is the error? Okay, it's saying that. Okay, now we have to do this in the local mode, and if we get, this is the first statement. I want to not only I want to create this travel, I want to create by association also. So I will use in the because it's belong to same BO, so I will use create entity, but this time also yi underscore travel taken. Create by association I have to use. Create by control space association name, and I have to give the fields again. So field values again I will copy. These all are the fields. Control C, which we are using in front end as well. Control V. With this, and last thing with control space, this time IT booking by association, and third thing I want to do for the booking supplement. For that I want to use booking entity, that also create by association, but this time I have to use booking because I am using the create by association. Create by / control space booking supplement, and again I have to pass the fields, not fields, so it will set automatically all the control values. As I told you in my previous video as well, there is only few fields. Control V. With yi underscore, we have the table call which we have created here, booking supplement. Control C, internal table. Control V, and mapping we have to fill. Once everything is done, mapping we have to get in this variable it underscore map variable. Shift F1 and Control F3. Let's see if we got some error. We didn't get error. What last thing we have to do? We have to pass this mapped data in the mapped table. So I will use the F2 again. So we have mapped table, Control C. In the map we already created the travel instance. So control space y travel taken should be equal to whatever we got the data from this one, this y travel instance. So whatever the new travel ID we have created, that we have to map to the map table. So front end will get to know you have already created new travel ID with along with the data. So data will be now with this travel ID, the data will be displayed in the front end. Shift F1, Control F3. Till now we have defined our action button or copy travel action button, and we have implemented successfully in our behavior definition. Now first step, what we have to do, we have to define for this particular behavior definition, or what we can say, we have to expose this particular behavior definition in our projection view as well. So if you open C, we have defined the factory action called the copy travel, but if we open in our behavior projection, there is no action defined yet. So simple thing we have to do, we just have to click on enter, and you have to use action, control space, and what action you want to use, copy travel, enter, and semicolon. That's enough. Shift F1. Not only we have to expose this action in the projection behavior definition, but you need some UI annotation as well to display that particular button. How the UI know you want to do some action? To do that, we have to go to our travel taken metadata extension file, and we have to define one button. These buttons will be defined at the element level. Even though that will be displayed at the header, the displayed position will not vary at all in the different position, but you have to define at the element level. So I will define this one here for UI line item. If you want to display in the our list report page, then you have to use it in the line item, and if you want to display in the object page, you have to use the identification line item reference to display these actions. So to display these actions, what we have to do, first we have to define the type. What type of this particular, one second, we have to use the comma separated list obviously, and control space you can do hash, and you can use for action I want to use. Second, you have to define your action name, which you have defined in the behavior definition. To do that, we have to use data comma separated list again, data action, and you have to give your action name which you have defined, copy travel in this case. Third thing, you have to give some label as well, control space you will do to display in the front end. So let me do copy travel label name. Let me do Shift F1 and Control F3. Now let's preview our application and see this particular what we can say, this particular button is displaying or not, and if it is displaying, it is working or not. Let me come here, let me unlock Control F3. I did Control F3. I have added new line here also. I did Control F3 and come here, Control F3. Everything is activated. Let me go to my service binding and preview my application. Travel taken, preview this application. I already previewed. Let me preview one more time. Let's see, we can see that copy travel button or not. Yeah, now I can see the copy travel button. We have given the label copy travel, that is the reason it is coming. Let me click on go button. It's not still enabled. Since it is factory action, as soon as instance action, all the instance actions will be enabled when you check any one of the instance. then only it will be enabled. So let me select one of the instance and click on the copy travel button. Before doing that, let me put some of the breakpoints in my behavior definition. Let me see if it is already there. Let me put one here, read statement, and one on the modify statement, one on the early numbering method as well, which we have created in my already there in my previous videos. So let's see what it is happening. Everywhere breakpoint is there. Let's click on the copy travel button. Obviously breakpoint will trigger because we have the breakpoint. Let me first statement, reading the keys. As I told you, in the keys we will be having this one CID and the travel ID which we are copying. Based on this travel ID, we will read the travel, booking and booking supplement entities. So first thing, we check that this particular variable is assigned or not. It should not be assigned for this particular keys. If it is assigned, we should give some dump, or we should tell that system you should pass the CID. So then only, if we don't have CID, then you can't create the new travel instances. With reference to this CID, I will gonna create the new travel instance. So I read the travel table, it got successfully read, and this I can see the travel ID with the travel ID to entire data for this particular travel ID. Let me read the associated booking. I can see there is two booking with booking ID 1 and 2 for this particular travel ID 2. Let me read the booking supplement. I can see one booking supplement that is also for second booking ID. For first booking ID, we don't have any booking supplement. We read all the data. Now I will loop through the travel table. I'm looping to the travel which I read. I want to copy this particular travel instance and want to create the new instance with the CID which I will get from the key table, and data I will get from the travel read table. So I have successfully created new travel instance with the CID I passed from the key table, and the other data I passed from the read travel data, and travel ID is blank. I didn't pass the travel ID. Travel ID will be generated by our early numbering method. If it is the actional numbering, then we have to pass here itself. Since it is the early numbering, that is also internal, so it will be calculated by our early numbering method. Let me modify the begin date. So first we will get the begin date from this method, and we modify the begin date. You can see we got the today's date, and we got the end date. We changed the oral status. Once we copied the data, on top of that we modified these three fields. Now I will create another table called IT booking CBA. Currently it is blank. I will pass first CID reference field, content ID reference field. That will be the content ID of our travel. So I pass the content ID reference field. In the target, we have to fill all the booking IDs. So I will get the booking IDs from our booking. So we have multiple bookings. So we will loop through this table. And for first booking, we don't have any booking supplement. So that is the reason we came out. And for the first booking, you can see successfully we read the first booking. You can see the target got filled here. And we have, with this booking ID, we have this data, and travel ID obviously blank, which will be generated. And now second booking we have to read. For the second booking, you have to fill again the target. The target will change this time. You can see the target, we append the target. Basically one target is already there, and second target we already filled, and we appended the target. In that way we will be having the two target for this particular booking. So if you see booking by association, if I again open CID with this booking CID reference, travel CID reference, we have two booking IDs, and the two booking IDs we have the two data. And since we don't have the travel ID, we are using the CID reference field. As soon as the travel ID is available, we will use the travel ID field. Okay, then we have the booking supplement field. Now for second booking, we have one booking supplement, so we will fill the booking supplement field as well. So you can see in the booking supplement, we have one data read table and append booking supplement by association, assigning this field symbol. So in this case, if you double click over here, you can see there is the two entries, one entry with the blank target and another entry we will fill with one data. You can see one data successfully got filled here. You can see this one. So if you open this one, this is for the second booking ID, but in this case the booking ID will be number 1 for the second booking, and we have other detail for the booking ID. So like that we have successfully filled our booking, we can say our booking travel, IT travel, which is travel is not blank, and second we have filled IT booking, which we have two bookings in target. We can see booking 1 and booking 2, and booking supplement also we have filled. For the second booking we have one booking. If you in the booking supplement table, you can see for this booking ID reference, CID reference, we have only one booking supplement, that also for the second booking ID reference. You can see here one data already filled. So like that we have successfully filled our data. Now I want to use the modify statement to fill this table. So as soon as you will use the F5 here, it will trigger the early numbering method, because till now we didn't provide the travel ID. So in the early numbering method, the travel ID will be filled. And early numbering method I already explained in my previous video. We are using the numbering object to generate new number. So in this case the new number will be this will be the new number. New travel line ID number will be the 4205. So it will successfully mapped. And if I do F5, and same way in the booking, for the booking also and booking supplement also we have the different method. So if you come here and see the entities, we already filled the booking travel ID. Now we have to fill the for this booking, what all are the booking numbers are there. But booking number we already have filled in my copy travel method, so it will not trigger. We have one statement already, F6, even through max booking number will be there 002. But if you see here, we already put one statement here. If booking ID is already filled, we should not fill our booking number. So this statement is working here. So we will not gonna fill here, because we already did in. If you want to do here, you can do, but we already filled in a copy travel method, so we no need to fill here again. So booking ID is not initial, it's already filled, the data is already there, so we will not fill here. Let me do F5 and come back. Now it should trigger the booking supplement method, early numbering method. F5. Now it should trigger booking supplement. Oh, we got dump. I can see we got dump. Debug mode. Let me go to switch to debug mode. I got the ABAP runtime. Actually, what is the issue? There is some issue. Let me see the dump. Let me do close the debugger perspective. Close this class. To analyze the dump in front end, you can see if you do F8, go to debugger mode and do F8. Come to ABAP perspective. Still it is running. Let me go to debug perspective. Terminated already. Exit. Okay. Okay. Let me disconnect. Come to ABAP perspective, and once you disconnect, in front end also you will get the dump issue, but here we are not getting. But to analyze the dump, you have to go to your feed reader view. You can Windows, show view, other, feed reader view, and you open it up, and recent runtime we got this dump. So what is the error we can see here? The currently terminated with the sort dump. I know the current pro recognize the handle inform a sort dump. Terminated. Numbering evaluated create by association. What is the issue here? the program indicate the reason. Okay, the handler implemented early numbering returned neither the failed nor a mapped response. Neither we filled the failed table nor we have filled the mapped table. Let me see my early numbering method. I did some mistake, I think so. Copy travel is there. Early numbering for this one. Wait, we have successfully passed. Okay, here it will not execute obviously. Failed obviously we are not filling, but mapped table we have filled. But where mapped table not filled because of this one. Oh, got it. So since we have not filled neither mapped table or nor what we can say the failed table, so that is the reason we are getting a table. So even we are not modifying the booking ID, so we have to make sure the map table should be filled. So we have to shift this statement Control X before this, if Control V, shift F1. In this case, booking ID is initial, then we will not update the booking ID, but at least we will fill the map table. No, even the booking ID is not available. Booking ID we are not updating. Control F3. Let me re-execute. Let me do the same thing for the, I didn't do for the, I think booking supplement as well. Let me see if I did or not. Let me go to my booking supplement class as well. So YI travel techem booking techem class, local types. So here also I didn't do. So let me copy and shift this statement outside. Control X. And Control V. Map table should be filled even through your booking ID is initial. Okay. Let me, something wrong. Control Z. Control Z. Not here. Oh, here we have already outside this initial check. Here we no need to worry. So that will control unlock. So here everything is okay. In that method, if you go come back, alt left, sorry. So in this one we wrote this statement here. So that is the reason map table didn't got filled and we are getting the dump. Control F3. And let me rerun my application. Refresh my application. Give me 1 second. Let me on this one. And let me click on go button. Select again second travel. Click on go button. Second travel, copy travel. Debugger got triggered. F6, everything working till now here, till everything is fine. F8, modify statement. F5. This also working fine. Early numbering method for travel also working fine. Let me do F7. Copy button. After this method, let me put breakpoint here in AND method. F8, F5. Yeah, now we are not getting dump. So now we came to the early numbering method of the booking supplement. So in this one, booking supplement, and in this we already have the numbering. We already fill the map table. So let me do F6, 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 F6. I think we have filled this map table successfully. In other, so we didn't fill in this. You can see we have filled this map table, so we'll not get any dump. Let me do F8 and see the result. Yeah, it got created successfully. 4206 is number with copying that the travel ID 2, and we have created this travel ID which is having 2 booking IDs. And I think second booking ID we have the one supplement as well. You can see booking supplement we have. For first booking ID we don't have supplement. You can see we have booking but we don't have any supplement for first booking. But second booking ID we have the supplement as well. You can go to 4206 again. We have the supplement as well. You can see the supplement data as well. Like that, this copy travel button works. In this video, we have created the copy action button and we saw the functionality in the front end as well. In my next video, we will create the new application for the approver where we will give him the option to accept and reject the travel. And we will remove all other functionalities like create, update and delete for the approver. That we will do in my next video. Before going to that video, please like this video, share this videos with others as well, and whatever you are feeling, write it down in comment section. With that, thank you and happy learning.